Welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I am Becky, store manager at the Modern Skein.
So today is a coffee day for sure. Clink.
This is my first cup of coffee today, so I'm a little bit sleepy, but it's gonna be great.
No, I have had 2 cups. Just regular cups, regular cups, and that was Suri. And then I had a free rewards at Starbucks, so.
It's a good time.
In case you want to know, not that anyone cares, this is a vintage shaken espresso with just 2 pumps of the brown sugar syrup because I don't like it super sweet. I still like to taste coffee. Regular milk, not oat milk. I don't like oat milk. Oat milk doesn't like me. And vanilla sweet cold foam stuff on the top, which is like the perfect addition. So now that you've attended our coffee podcast.
Yes. Coffee segment is wrapping up.
Yes. We should probably move on to weather. That seems a logical flow.
I mean, we do got to give it some coverage. On today's front, it looks as though it's a little bit hazy with the blue skies and some clouds. Okay, thank you.
Very true. It's that weird mix of cold and hot. So it was cold enough last night to wear hoodies and sweatshirts and light a fire in our outdoor fireplace for the first time.
Oh, I was going to say, did y'all actually, yay.
We did. It was so awesome. But it's also going to be like 78 degrees today or something. So it's like,
yeah.
Come on, spring. All right. So this is now when we actually start the podcast.
Let's talk about knitting, shall we?
Yeah, what we're actually about. So this is episode 99. So next episode will be episode 100, and we will be doing some sort of giveaway. So stay tuned for that. If you're just now seeing our podcast for the first time, hopefully our shenanigans won't turn you off, and you will also subscribe and like, and stay tuned for the giveaway. Okay, moving on. Normally, we do talk about finished objects. I, however, do not have a finished object. Wah, wah. But Becky's pulling in clutch.
I got one. So this delightfully squishy hat is the Hat in Peak by Maxim Sear, or Max the Knitter. And I did this one up as a, currently it's in the shop, but as a sample for Red Stag, because it's knitted out of a new base that launched this week. That new base.
Did I not grab her pod?
No, right there. I see it.
Oh.
It is under
all of them.
the mountain of yarn.
Yes.
So, for colorways, this is Welsh Slate, which I absolutely love how there's a little bit of tonal shifting here in that dark color. It's like a nice charcoal gray, almost black. Cobblestone is the next color, then Purpod, and then Antique Leather. So this cute little bouquet of skeins.
Ta-da!
Yeah, wonderful pattern. So wonderful, in fact, that it's going to be a sweater also.
Yes, because there's the matching Hide and Peak, which is the original sweater. This is this would be the matching hat.
Yeah.
Hat and Peak. Yes, it's so nice.
And he originally did it with a palm. I left the palm off on this one.
You could totally add a palm.
Yeah.
If you wanted.
And this one is the...
But you could also wear it more like... slouchy.
Yeah. And as far as, this is the second size, so the adult small, I think is what they say.
That's why it fits me.
Yeah. But I mean, truth be told, it fit my head as well, and
Yeah.
I have a fairly large head. So there's a decent amount of stretch in there. But I did just ever so slightly shorten the brim. I think for that size, it says to knit the brim in ribbing for 5 inches, and I was real over it at like 4, maybe 4 1/4. And so I kind of folded it and looked at it and was like, this looks fine. This looks good to me. So
It's definitely, it doesn't seem short at all.
and I figured since it would be a sample, a super long brim is more function than it is aesthetic. So I opted for the brim that would look better on a display.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do have the Highland Sport. We'll segue slightly into talking about Highland Sport because it is the new base from Red Stag Fiber. It has officially launched. I think it's even officially launched on his own website as well. But let me show you the colors we have. There is not as wide of a color palette on the Highland Sport because it is a non-superwash. So we're starting off with, well, technically 10 colors, but we've already sold out of one color. I don't think we'll have it in time for the anniversary, but we should probably have it before the end of the month. So yeah, what we have is, of course, Welsh Slate, gorgeous, Cobblestone. Basically, it's like his top selling colors per pod. Love this.
That is such a good. That's a more recent color for Red Stag too, and it's a good one.
Antique leather, of course, my favorite. Great Hall. I really love Great Hall because the color does take ever so slightly different. If you're used to, I don't even have a good example necessarily. Well, here, if you're used to his normal, so a superwash yarn from him. So this is cottage sock, and then you see this. So it takes it ever so slightly differently and slightly more tonal. So you can, for socks or things in the round, you might get a little slight pooling or just tonality striping in there. So just be aware if that's going to bother you, you will want to alternate skeins in your project. But it really gives such a cool effect. And I think the one you can really tell a lot with is the Great Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, you get that like purpley burgundy color and then the rich red. It's just, it reads as a solid, especially from a distance, but then you get those beautiful color shifts. Same with Royal Mantle. You get some dark and light kind of tones in there. Then there's Gilded. Gilded's really pretty on it. You've got Passport. Again, another one that you get some more color shifts as well, which is really pretty. And Her Majesty's Navy. Also, you get some color shifts, which is really nice. Again, extremely subtle. You're really only going to see them in what I would say small circumference knitting. So socks, if you were doing a sport weight sock, or hat, maybe up around the yoke of if you were doing like a solid, like what would be an example? Maybe like the birch sweater from Andrea Mowry. That's a sport weight sweater, all one color. You might see some tonality shifts in that. You might not. I think the DRK Everyday would be another one that you might see some, especially up around the yoke and the sleeves. So just be mindful, and if that kind of stuff bothers you, alternate skeins.
Yep.
The details of the base, of course, it is called Highland Sport. It is a non-superwash, 100% Peruvian wool. It is very soft. So, yes, it is a rustic wool. However, it does not feel like what you think of a rustic wool is going to feel.
No.
If you're familiar with some of the more popular ones, Beach and Boosh, Shelter, I'm having a total brain blurb on, but it's nowhere near as rustic as those. It's more along the lines of an Arbor from Brooklyn Tweed, or Double Sunday and Sunday from Santa's Garn. It does not feel offhand like a non-superwash wool. It feels like a non-merino wool, if that makes sense, but it does not have any pick or scratch or true toothiness.
Yeah.
However, it's great for color work. It's going to stick to itself. It's kind of that weird in between. It has to do with how it's spun. So it's spun more like a regular superwash wool. But again, it hasn't been superwash treated, which is fantastic, especially if you are looking for more environmentally friendly options.
I feel like that might segue us real well into your other... Did you bring your whip?
Wait, what?
The other Highland whip.
I have two now.
Oh, dear goodness.
That's why I was
okay.
like, which one?
Max.
Well, I have that one too.
Okay,
but I also have this.
Okay, I haven't seen this one since she cast on just the neck. I don't know why I needed to scrunch up my shoulders in excitement. All right.
It is very exciting. So, obviously Becky did that. Josh had a few other people. There's the rest of my pattern. I sent Josh going through every bag in my craft room searching for this pattern the other night. He was like, it's not here. It's not here. It's right here. Anywho, I cast on the Shifty 2.0 in the Highland Sport. And so you might be wondering, well, how is this going to work? Because this is done in a color-changing, gradient, variegated type yarn originally, like a spin cycle, a Zower ball, earth, any of those gradients or color-changing, color-shifting yarns. It's working out so good. So, let me show you. I have it on ridiculously tiny needles, and it needs to be steamed. And I just lost a stitch. Hold, please. Do, 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 do. Okay. So, this is not going to do it justice because it is legitimately crammed on here. But this is my Shifty. Jeez, I keep popping off these. I'm telling you, I need to switch needles. So good. I know, right? Okay, so how I am doing this pattern for a non-color changing yarn is I have my main color. I'm going to have, which for me is the birch colorway, which, like I said, that is the new color from Red Stag Fiber. And we're going to compare it here in a minute on his other base to show you the difference. But it's a beautiful new taupey neutral, and I'm just in love. So I'm using birch as my main color throughout. And then the way the pattern is written, you have different charts. They're written and charted, but different charts that she has you go through. She calls them the blip sections. So you have different charts. So when she says to change color, I am not changing color. I am changing and switching out my color after I complete each. It's like a 10, 12 row chart repeat section. After every one of those, I switch my color. I'm doing 3 contrasting colors, and so it will shift. I'm just kind of going through the colors and shifting them around, and it's looking so good. So I'm using, like I said, birch for my main color, and then this first section here is cobblestone. Then I have antique leather, and then this, it's all jammed up here, is Her Majesty's Navy. And so I'll go, once I'm done with this section in Her Majesty's Navy, I'll switch back to cobblestone.
It's just the happiest little like sprinkles of color on that background.
Yes, sprinkles. I love sprinkles. Yes. I'm still 6 years old. I want sprinkles on my donut. I want sprinkles on my ice cream. Yes.
They're just happy.
They are so happy. I like rainbow sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles. Okay, moving on. So this, I'm really loving the pattern. It is once you get past, there is some yoke shaping, short row shaping. Once you get past that, it is pretty much mindless because it is slip stitches. Slip stitches are, I'll say, they're all the rage. They're what's hot right now. It's trending. Seems like every new design coming out is slip stitches in some form or fashion, but it's an easy way to get color work and texture without having to mess with yarn management, doing two-handed color work, or worrying about floats. You do have to make sure you're not pulling ridiculously tight or anything like that, but it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as critical, maybe, with slip stitches as it is.
I mean, because most of those, like, the spots where you have a float or, like, a carried across, like, it's very, very small.
Yeah, in this pattern, it's no more than 2 stitches.
Yeah.
At most. So, yeah, you're not having, like, huge gaps. Yeah, so that's my Highland Sport cast on. I did cast that on and worked on that on my day off yesterday. I didn't do too much. It was a busy day off. Got a lot done, though. Good. But the other project...
This is the one I was thinking of.
This is also a Maxim Sear, Max the Knitter design. This yarn we do not have yet, but it is the complementary yarn to this new sport. I believe we should be getting it in April, I think. Don't hold me to that. But this is the Highland DK. And it is like a super plump and luscious squish. I would say a heavy DK, if not borderline on the worsted.
Yeah. It's so good.
It is so
good. The spot where you're at right now. The motif, like they almost look like the really skinny little like hearts. It makes me think of the fins on the halibut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So this is the Yesteryears sweater by Maxim Sear. This was in the worsted book by Amy Gilles from La Bien Amie. And this was originally designed in her Corey worsted base, which is actually, it is a worsted weight that is more like a DK in actual thickness and weight. So this has been really interesting to do this pattern in the Highland DK because it's just a skosh on the plumper side, and it's just so good. So good. The stitch definition is a brilliant amazingness. It's, of course, non-superwash, all the things. It's actually going, when it comes out, it's going to be amazing yardage. It's like 246, almost 250, right at 250, I think. So great yardage. It's amazing. By the way, the Highland Sport is $26, so it's a nice, fairly reasonable one too. And that's for 100 gram skeins, like I said, 328 yards. So nice. So anyway, this is the Highland wool in the DK, so that'll be coming soon. Colorway is cobblestone and Welsh slate. You can kind of see more of the variegations in it. I mean, it still reads very much as solid and it doesn't disrupt color work at all, but you can just see some of that
there ever so subtly, and I think it's really nice.
I'm enjoying it. I am. All right, what are you working on? You have pages and pages of charts, and it's kind of ooh.
Yeah. So this was like a month ago when we were working on our super foot bowl. So several of us were knitting socks. We had a customer come in for a Thursday sit and stitch. And she asked, because everybody was working on socks, if we did Sock Madness. And I had heard of Sock Madness, but I didn't know much about it. And so she kind of explained her experience with it. And I was like, I think I might sign up. And so I did. And the first qualifier sock launched yesterday. So I am beginning. It doesn't look like very much. I've begun my cuff, and I am starting in on the chart of the Angle Crystal sock. It is an all-over...
Angle Crystal?
It's a German designer.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I pronounced that with the correct accent.
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's a weird name. No, it's like Angle Crystal. That's, I know like 2 things of German. And and that word is not in my 2 vocabulary words of German.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
It is like an all-over twisted stitch, cable, striping, helical knitting. So it's gonna be a time, but I mean, you know, it's just for the fun of it, for the challenge of it. So, Sharon's skeptical. But yeah, that's what I started on. I saw it in the Ravelry group and in my email, and I was like, right now, casting on right now. I need as much time as humanly possible to finish this pair of socks. So,
yeah, because with Sock Madness, y'all can get kicked out if you don't do it.
I've got 2 weeks.
Yeah. To do 1 sock or a pair?
Pair. Yeah.
This is why I don't do Sock Madness. Now, tell me I have to knit a whole sweater in 2 weeks? Sure. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Speaking of sweaters, show what yarn you're using.
So I was unprepared. I have so much sock yarn at home, but I saw it when I was here, and I was like, oh no, I need to cast on like right now. And I definitely dove into the bin of yarn scraps from old projects and things. So, and then I figure, you know, worst case scenario, this doesn't work out and I only get through 1 sock in the 2 weeks. It'll just live in the shop as a little sample.
Perfect.
This is a state fingering from Red Stag in the colorway Mar and Mulligan. Mar is my main color. Mulligan is my contrast. So
very nice.
I am excited to start the cables.
Excuse me.
Did you inhale a little mohair there?
Yes, I did. So, speaking of sweaters, I finally finished the body.
Yes.
Of my Agnes.
Oh gosh.
It's so good.
So good.
Yes. Oh, I love it. So I did go ahead and cast on 1 sleeve. Could not for the life of me find my 12-inch circulars to do that. So I have some kind of janky magic loop going on here. It works. It's fine. But I have, the reason this is taking me so long, this would be the easiest sweater to knit. However, I have a maniac for a cat that lives with me who is obsessed with both mohair and the Scooby-Doo's knitting barber cord, whatever you want to call them, the little plastic cord things, who will not leave me alone anytime I pull this out. So much so I have to put this on top of our bookcase or fireplace mantle, which is, let's see, 8 feet off the ground, so that he does not get it. Because he has ripped into this thing like it's nobody's business. I have fixed so many snags on this. So anyway, yeah, see, he sees this and loses his mind. And then smells the mohair and it's just like, and then it's like, for the rest of the night when I grab it away from him. So yeah. So anywho, this is Agnes by Camelia Vad. And like I said, finished, I need to steam it out, but finished the body. I'm thinking I'm going to just do 3/4 length sleeves. That's kind of my go-to sleeve length as you can see, that's what I typically wear. I rarely wear full-length sleeves, and when I do, then I like them oversized, and I really don't like knitting that. So yeah, just need to finish off these sleeves and be done. And honestly, will I get them done before the anniversary? I certainly have the time. I don't know that I can, simply because I can't knit this at the house. So I got to either knit it up here, or lately this has been car knitting. So taking it anytime we're in the car and just getting a couple rows done anytime we're in the car. And obviously I'm not driving. So we'll see. I'd like to at least have one sleeve done, which I'm pretty sure I could get one sleeve done. But then I get distracted by shiny new things. So
Happens.
it does happen. But this is a gorgeous sweater, and I do love it.
It's so good.
I love it. So progress is being made on that. I actually didn't bring any other whips with me.
Wow.
I know. I do have other whips. I have the balloon sweater. I have... What else do I have? I have the Sunday morning wrap. Sunday morning wrap I'm going to take with me for spring break when we're gone on spring break, because that's going to be a good mindless TV movie watching, playing with the nieces kind of knit. I also think the Shifty's got but then I'm also going to cast on a new project for that week as well.
Yes.
I'm going to cast on the gingerbread sweater by Espace Tricot. Yeah. So, we shall see. Let us see this pretty pile.
So, I have been test knitting. This is the Wild Ivy by Woolen Pine, as I have Scooby-Doo in my face. There we go. And I am very nearly ready to start the bottom ribbing. It's a scoop neck sweater. I'm going to do mine as kind of more of a tee. I'll probably have short sleeves on it, which means I am very, very close to finishing. And today is actually pre-order day. So by the time you're watching this, whenever that may be, it should be available to pre-order the pattern so you can swatch and pick out yarn and all that jazz. But this has been a delight.
It's really pretty.
It's DK weight, so it goes somewhat quickly. But I mean, I keep getting close to memorizing the chart, and then I forgot it, or I would make a mistake, and I'd have to go back and reference it. But yeah, I am doing mine with -2 inches of ease, so it'll be a very fitted shirt. And I still need to go back and pick up the neckline as well. So you do get some flexibility in deciding how. They give like 4 options, I think, maybe 3 options for picking up along the neck. So you can choose if you want like a really deep scoop or like moderate one, and or like a more like up close to the neck option.
That's nice.
So yeah, this was a real fun test knit.
It's really pretty. It's a good one. And with, even though it's a DK weight, with it being able to be short sleeve, I'm assuming they're also doing a longer sleeve option.
Yeah, there's some testers that have done, I've seen a couple that are real pretty that have been like a longer, like 3/4 length sleeve that were really, really nice. And I think if I was knitting this like 2 or 3 months ago, I would have probably kept going and done a 3/4 length sleeve. I have the yarn for it. It's purely that I want to get somewhere out of this as we get into Texas spring / summer.
I was just thinking, if you want to really make it a transitional piece, buy the pattern and get wool and cotton from Mad Tosh. That's a DK.
Yeah.
That would be really nice with it.
So nice.
And it gives good definition. Yeah. Or even Lenny. I bet you Lenny would work.
Duo would work.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be
good
really
options.
Fun. Yeah. So if you're in the warmer climate, you know, Texas, Gulf Coast, Florida, California, where it's nice and warm.
Yep.
Yes.
They definitely do say, though, like, just bear in mind, like, if you want a more fitted garment, they, like, said stay away from the plant-based.
Oh, yeah. Because you're not going to have the stretch to...
Yeah. Mm-mm. You'll get the nice kind of drapey texture, and if that's what you want, then go for it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yay. Oh, and I see something else.
Yes. I worked on this for a while, and it doesn't look like a lot right now. It just looks like a mess, honestly.
It does, but it's going to be so good.
So after seeing, there's so much dog hair and cat hair all over my knits. And me. Yep. So after seeing the Cairngorms lace from Garth and Nora knit up in the sample Cymerg shawl that we posted about, or Sharon posted about the other day, I, just might have suggested having a shop sample of the Ghost Whisperer top from Park and Knit, which was designed originally in a lace-weight mohair, and it's a super light kind of cropped throw on over something else kind of a piece. And so I was like, what if we did that out of the Cairngorms lace? And so right now I am it's a bottom up piece, so you're just knitting stockinette for, I think they say like 7.5 inches. I've got a little bit left to go, but this was honestly like 2 days worth of knitting.
Oh wow.
Like it doesn't, you're knitting on 10.5s. So it goes very quickly, and mine is bunched up on a small needle at the moment, because I didn't read the pattern ahead of time, and I was like, oh, I'm going to work on the collar first. Oh, she's actually making an appearance. Hello, ma'am. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the podcast.
She looks so thrilled. Say hi.
This is the one who causes the little noises and meows that you hear in the background. Official shop greeter.
She is a happier cat than what it looks right now. And we're back to roaming.
Yep. But yeah, so beginnings of a Ghost Whisperer top. I still have a lot of the yardage left at the first skein. I'll be real honest, I have not checked gauge yet. And I don't know if I'm going to, because this is one that's so loosey-goosey anyway. But
it's not super, I mean, to a point you need gauge, but to a point you don't either.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued to see how this will work out.
Awesome. So with our Highland Sport restock, we also got restocked in cottage sock, which we had gotten dreadfully low in. We've restocked almost all the colors. I did not bring all of them out, but just a sampling. But then I also want to show you the new color as well. So this is Her Majesty's Navy, which we restocked. This is the new colorway. I don't think we'd had this on cottage sock yet. This is Mar. I really love that. It fades really nicely with the Her Majesty's Navy, Mar, and then go into French waistcoat. That's really pretty. Bordeaux. And of course, antique leather. But then I really wanted to show you is this. So currently, or pre the new color, if you wanted a light neutral from Red Stag Fiber, of course we had antique linen. There's also pine, which I forgot to get. Pine, and then go run and fetch pine. This is mulligan, which is a slightly newer color. So this is like a taupey. So this is more of a gray cream. And then you had the taupey beige cream. And then you had pine, which was more like the yellow beige. So these were your 3 neutrals. Well, there's now a 4th. Ta-da! So really, it's kind of in between these two. So it's not a yellow based. I mean, it's warm, so but it's not. It's really hard to explain. So this is birch.
It's like you took the other 3 in your hand and put them together a little bit, and that's birch.
And then you get birch. It's really, really cool. So the coolest part, though, is, so of course, Josh has his gray fade that people have used for canal ring, for what's that? That top that everyone did with the baubles from Andrea Mowry that faded.
The neve.
Neve. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Faded neve. And then the Spectre tee from Hohilo Catelli. So this is his gray fade. So it's a 5-color fade. You start with antique linen, go into Castle Rock, cobblestone, Stonegate, and Walsh slate. It's beautiful for all of you gray lovers. It's just perfect. But now for my beigey brown taupe lovers, look at this. Bam. So it's so good. So this is birch at the end, then mulligan, Aberdeenshire, Edinburgh Castle, and Dunedin. So this is my new favorite. I love it. I love it so much. So all of these are available on Cottage Sock. Cottage Sock is a 463 yard 75/25 merino nylon. It is super wash, great for socks, great for shawls. I knit my Kyler shawl out of this yarn. I've knit, what else have I knit out of this yarn?
I knit my autumn court sweater out of Cottage Sock. And I feel like I've done something else with it too.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of what I've done with it.
Wow.
This is weird. I know I've used it in some of my West Knits, like shawlography, and it was part of it. Yeah, I know I've knit other things. Anywho, it's fine. Can't remember them.
He's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's funny. We had the other day a lady who knit a store sample for us and forgot she knit it. She's like, "That's really awesome. What is this?" I'm like, "You knit
you
this?"
Knit that?
She's like, "No." And she looked in her Ravelry. She's like, "Yep, I did." It was funny. So see, it was a good enough thing you could knit it again. I'm out of things to talk about. I really am. I've reached the point of
I don't think I have anything else either, to be completely honest. I mean, here's the beginnings of the hide and peak, the hide and peak.
Oh, waste yarn. I was
yarn.
like,
it's fine. Like, there's literally not even the actual yarn yet. It's just a waste yarn.
it's the wrong color.
It's fine.
No, it's the allergies, because Texas can't decide if it wants to be winter or spring. So allergies, 2 nights of staying up way too late. I'm just a little blah. And then, of course, we have all of the fun activities and things going on not going on yet. They're in the background getting ready to happen for the anniversary weekend, which, if you are not local and you can't make it out, don't worry. You will be able to partake in all of the amazing things. I can't ship you cupcakes, but I mean, I don't think you want me to try and ship you a cupcake with your yarn. That just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
I think at that point it would be a flat version of a cake ball.
Yeah. Like, schmack. Yeah. Anyway, we are going to have I just got confirmation yesterday, 2 custom colorways. I've seen one, haven't seen the other one, for the shop. We have, of course, if you're coming out, Emery, the president and founder of Earth Yarns, who we are an ambassador store. We're the only ambassador store in the state of Texas. He is coming personally on Friday, March 11th from 10 to 3, bringing a trunk show of amazing things with him. We are having, of course, a limited edition colorway from Red Stag Fiber, a new colorway exclusive to us from Chelsea Luxe. We'll have the Chelsea Luxe trunk show. Sorry, I have I don't know if it's cat hair or mohair or both on my face. You will be earning double reward points all weekend. So that is for online orders or in-store purchases. All of the trunk show will be uploaded to the website under our trunk show page, so you'll be able to shop there as well. Trying to think. The newsletter went out on the 1st with most of the juicy details. I say not all, but most of the details. And we will be doing social media posts all next week leading up to the anniversary. The main things to know is if you are local, next Thursday, the 10th, the day before the anniversary starts, we will not be open late. We will close at 5 because we have to prep and get the store ready with all the fun, exciting things. So there won't be any sit and stitch that night. We also will be open for our first Sunday of the year on the 13th from noon to 5. So we're open usually about 4 Sundays per year, and this is the first one of the year. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else pertinent. I can't think of anything. Nope, I can't. We are working on getting our class schedule up for early spring. I don't even know. I guess it's technically not spring until the 21st. So I guess early spring and spring.
Yep. And
all the knit-along events. Oh, West Fjords Wanderer Knit-Along Cast-On Day is moved to West Knits Wednesday, the 23rd, I think. Yes, 23rd of March. So give you a little extra time to gather up your yarn. Anyone and everyone is welcome to join in on that. We are just as a group casting on a fun West Knits shawl, the West Fjord Wanderer. It is a 7 skein fingering, because you marl your fingering weights together, so it's a great opportunity to use up stash. It's, if you kind of go by his original metrics, you do 4 skein fade, and then 3 corresponding speckled. I almost wanted to say sparkling yarns. You could do sparkling yarns too, but speckled yarns to go with it. But you can also just use 7 random yarns that kind of go together and use up stash. You can use more than 7. You could totally use up all of your odds and ends and half bits and bobs. You can check out the Ravelry page for West Fjords Wanderer and see kind of different color palettes of how people did that. But yes, cast on day is going to be the 23rd.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Gotta bring those skeins in and start winding them up, get those all set up.
Yes, definitely.
So.
Yep. Well, as you can see by the sudden glow on our face, the sun is shining in, and it's actually kind of bright. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. don't really have much else to talk about.
Afraid
And
not.
I have the hiccups now. So we're going to wrap this up. Stay tuned for episode 100. And yeah, thanks so much for being with us on this journey so far. See you guys later.
Bye, y'all.